Hey everyone, let me explain real quick what I'm trying to accomplish here. I'm going to give the whole video making thing a shot, mostly for myself just to accomplish making something. So a better way to start by chopping up the interesting parts of my MX Simulator races. As we look at these drone shots here, this video is a POV of the MPH Fall Supercross Series hosted by the MPH Racing guys. If you want to race in the series yourself, I left the link in the description. This race is a simple supercross format, qualify inside the top 40, followed by heat races and LCQ in a main event. As you can see here, I qualified 6th in time qualifying at a 107.9, which is a whole 2.7 seconds behind Braden Carter, so yeah, we're quite off the pace. Anyway, I didn't have a demo of my qualifying laps, so let's get right into this heat race. Alright, we're in the gate here for the round 3 of the MPH series. This is at the Cartersville track that they created. This is a fantasy track. So we got a decent gate pick here on the inside of the doghouse, and let's see if we can get a good jump, and we don't. So coming into the first corner here, there's guys stacking up, and of course, MX Simulator, you know, I just get swept up in there, but we still come out in a pretty good spot. We're sitting here in about 9th place. A lot of carnage in front. Kind of a bold line that I took here. But I wanted to get this inside so we don't have to deal with the people on the outside there. So then, as you can see here, I got a little whiskey throttled, jumped a little too far into the corner, and landed up on top of the berm. So yeah, whatever turned into a decent start is now a pretty terrible start. So now we're gonna have to make our way through the field here. So making a couple spots back just from the carnage, and then more carnage in the corners. So more carnage happens, and we're already back up into P12. So the thing with this track, it was a little difficult for what's supposed to kind of be a off-season local cross type track stuff, but it was still fun. This track was just maybe a little bit too many 90-degree corners, and then there's this rhythm section that we're coming up here in a couple corners that was just a little goofy. You come out of this kind of a 180 corner as I get stacked up with this guy and loop my Larry. Yeah, this section right here, you gotta triple in no matter what. If you don't triple in, you're basically doubling through everything, just how the flow of that rhythm section went. So I'm skipping up ahead here. This is still on the second lap, and we're up to P10, and right there is the pass for P9, so we're inside a qualifying spot into the main event. And another thing with this track is those whoops. Those were scary whoops, especially this section right here. You had to you can't full throttle them. You had to back down and make sure you don't get a bounce in them. So yeah, I slid out in the corner there because I went outside. Wasn't really expecting myself to go outside there. I always kept going on the inside, and I just gave a little too many beans and slipped out. And yeah, so we're going along here. Keep going through the track, just making up some more spots, just trying to make up myself a better gate pick for the main event here. I didn't really care where I finished in this series. This is just an off-season series, just kind of like prove myself in the 250 class. I've been mainly riding the 250 here because I don't really feel like grinding out an entire season next year in RF Supercross, so I've just been chilling on the 250 and probably gonna do 250 East Supercross, and that's about it. But doing a little bit of other off-season races, I'll try to get some clips of those, whatever race is interesting or whatever fun. So as you can see there, I just made it through the rhythm section, got the triple in, and I did I think a triple double out. That's probably the fastest line through there, and it's kind of tricky to get. You have to really apex yourself in that corner. So I'm sitting here in 7th, catching up on 6th and 5th right in front of me here, but I didn't really care if I was pushing the issue too hard. It's just a heat race, not a whole lot of competition in here. Let the mistakes get to them, and I could just see myself making up some spots. So there you go. Just got 5th there. Everybody else is making mistakes, and I'm just letting it come to me. So get through the whoops there decently. Once again, these whoops are just treacherous. You really gotta be on your toes with them. I think they're a little bit too tricky for the speed you're getting into there. You could really easily dip your front wheel and just absolutely explode. across the finish line here with only a couple laps left. This is just a little 6-minute plus 1 lap race, sitting in fifth, sitting pretty good. But as you can see there, I just made a little mistake and a bobble, so I decided to do the double line, but guy behind me thought he could hit the triple and absolutely cleaned me out, but it's whatever, it's just a heat race. We can make some spots back with how inconsistent the other riders were being. So we get up here in 8th and just letting, once again, the mistakes come to the other riders. So he decides to go outside there, I'll go inside. The inside was definitely the more powerful, faster line. And he did some weird double in the inside there, and he got me at the exit of the corner, but he just didn't have a good momentum going through that rhythm section there, so I got by pretty good. Pick up another spot because homeboy is dead there, and then try to make another lap through these whoops, and get a little bit of wheel spin, but we still save it. Looks like we went by a lapper, so not another spot gain, but we're just trailing behind these two, and I think that's 3rd place, 2 riders in front, and I'm just falling behind, just see what happens. And as you can see, they made the mistake, and I just squeak on by. But then I make a mistake, I slide out, because once again, that's just a really goofy corner. You can't push it too hard, but you need to get on the gas so you can get that triple in. So at this point in the heat race, it's already 1 lap to go, and I'm sitting in 3rd. I know that I'm not going to gain any more spots. I'm just due to the inconsistency and bad start of my race, making mistakes. I'm 23 seconds behind in 3rd, so not really a good race for me, but still getting 3rd, so a 5th or 6th gate pick in the heat. And as you can see, it's last lap. I decided, I'm going to go for a heater, and I just jump off the track and end up clobbering myself. And then come up to here in the whoops. This is what I mean by how deadly these whoops are. You feel like you're going in straight, but the second you start bouncing, you're dead. These whoops are just really steep and quite difficult. So yeah, come across the line, 3rd place, 35 seconds behind. Alright, we're lined up here for the main event. Got about 5th or 6th gate pick from that heat race, and not the best gate in the world, but if we get a good jump, we could probably make something work from it. So the gate drops and I don't get a good jump and end up getting pinched here and ran from behind and clipped this guy down on the ground, and we go down. So not a good start. We get up in about last place, literally last place, but it's not the end of the world. I know that this isn't an RF Supercross race, so I know a lot of people are going to pile up. So if we play it smart, we can make up a bunch of ground on the first lap. So I do double and go to the inside here, and somebody behind me decides to just go for it and absolutely clobber me. So yeah, now we're in a bad spot. We get back up in last place here. Now it's just, you gotta go for it. Try not to get flustered, and just don't make any more mistakes. So I'm making that pretty hard as I make it through the first section of whoops pretty terribly, looking ahead, and enter the whoops a little bit too hard, and get a bounce, and can't avoid the guy that is downed. So now we're in a nightmare scenario. You look up at the map, and you just see everybody chasing away, and you're sitting here back in last, a few sections behind now. So I crossed the finish line in 21st place on the first lap here, and it's just go time or quit, and I'm not usually a quitter, so I decided, let's just go for it, see what happens. But now I'm riding flustered and can't even hit the first rhythm section. So I chop off the guy behind me and get clipped, and I'm focusing too much on him and didn't realize, there's a drop right there. So I lost my focus, absolutely crashed my brains out, and now it's just making a bad start even worse. So now we're 7 seconds behind, and 21st while we're in last place. So we just made up a spot. Still not a lot of time, but It's not. It's progress at least. So we're making it through the whoops, and to make a bad lap even worse, we crash again on the second lap. So, cutting ahead, you can see the other guys are on just a rhythm section ahead. You can kind of see the Congo line. It's not too far ahead, so that's what gave me hope here to keep pushing, and ended up just charging and try to put down heaters at this point. Nothing else you can really do. So as the mistakes started pouring in from the guys up front, I started to get in sight with the pack here. So there's a group of 4 all just piling in on the inside. So I decided to go outside and made a couple spots. Not a bad run through the whoops. I could see that I'm making time on the guy in front of me. Just trying to make it consistent through the whoops here and not die. End up going outside, but this time I didn't slide out, and that guy did, and he couldn't make the triple. Get past him and get up to 14th. And then we're side by side by Mr. Number 18. Throw a little bit of dualies, cross jump each other, and try to help the bike, let him know that you're crossing over, but I don't know how much you can actually do. So he cuts inside, I go outside. We both slipped, so we had to do the double-double line, and barely missed the guy that passed us there. We're just riding sketchy, as simple as that. We're not riding good out here. Definitely got to clean up the laps here if I want to be up front. I know I'm a top 5 guy in this class, in this series. Just got to work on the consistency. Even with the bad start, I noticed that I'm cross-jumping people like right then. I'm not hitting the corners smooth, and then just kind of getting wobbly in the rhythm sections. It's not really helping my case if I want to actually be consistent. So we're just following here. Number 18 still. We both go inside. The inside there, once again, is just the main line. I don't think there was anything faster there. At this point in the race, we're 7 minutes in. I'm up to 13th, and just trying to see where people are making mistakes and catching up on those mistakes. Skip ahead another lap. I'm up to 11th now. Avoid guy just absolutely wanting his brains out. And I'm like, alright, we're inside the top 10 here. Let me just hit the whoops nice, and we get that kick, and we die. So, happy to get inside the top 10 and then immediately lose it. So now I get up here, and all of a sudden I just loop my Larry and tip over again. So I had a double fall off, and that's where I was pretty mad. All that progress I just made from coming from last was inside the top 10 and gaining more time. I lost it all, so now we're back up into 14th. So right here, this just wasn't smart riding by me. The guy in front of me, I knew he was going inside, but I decided to follow him anyway, even though he looked sketch, and there's a guy down, so that just kind of bottlenecked and lost time there. So we're back up to 13th here, coming up to the hard triple line, so triple in, triple, and I actually kind of made the line, but decided to go inside because I got a bobble, and I'm following number 18. He slides, so I kind of give him room. Some guy re-entering the track in front of us. It's a little crazy out here. So now I know that this track is a little bit one-lined. I can't really pass him. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to actually try something. I'm going to go outside even though I know this isn't faster. I do the double-double, and I, for some reason, go outside like an idiot. I felt bad for doing that. I just thought I had enough room and I could just sneak up and go outside. I didn't see him. I couldn't really hear him either. But I should have known that he was going to be there. But what do you do? So I apologize, whoever that was. That was a bonehead move. Just shouldn't have done that. So I'm expecting him to absolutely clean me out for doing something stupid like that, but it actually didn't come. So just trugging along here, trying to make up some ground. We're still in 12th. At this point, my goal is let's just get a top 10. So now this lap, I remember I just, horrible entry into there. We clipped the tough blocks, have to do a double, and then another double, and then I think I clipped the tough blocks, yep, and then I go wide, clip the wall, so number 18 goes by me again, which, maybe I should have let him have it after I absolutely just ended his career in that corner on the previous lap. So now we're both squitting it up in this rhythm. He got a little bit cleaner, but I just couldn't get it. And then looks like he's getting a wobble, and he does, and he explodes, and I get around him. So back up to 12th. Just now got a charge up there. Getting sketch in the whip, so let's save it. Hit that rut pretty good. And right on them, so I think I could squeeze by him on the outside, but I didn't have a rut, so he got the drive, and he completely cross-jumps me. We both dead sailor over the finish line jump, but that's okay. So I thought about going inside there, but I knew there was going to be nothing good, and he screws it up, clips the tough blocks, he dies, and I just barely clip him, and I go down. So at this point, there's only a couple minutes left in the race. I'm sitting here in 13th. I'm at this point, the wind out of my sails is kind of gone, and I'm just in it to see where I get at this point, and as you can see, things go bad. The guy in 12th was all sketchy, and he exploded and went down in a blind corner that I couldn't see. So now the leader is on me. My goal at this point was like, alright, I don't want to get lapped, so I'm kind of incriminating myself here, being a goon and not moving for the leader. I could have probably moved over right here, or after this triple, but as you can see, whenever I go over the triple, I jump way off to the left and jump back on the track in front of the leader. So, sorry about that. Shouldn't have done that, but at this point, when you're in that frustrated mindset, you just don't really care about people around you in the moment, but then when you look back at it, you're like, eh. So, not moving for the leader, and being the flustered bit that I'm at, I completely wad my brains out. So, I know this is the last lap here. We're too far behind 12th unless he makes a mistake to get 12th. I decide, you know what? I'm just going to let it go, and I'm just going to run the best lap I can on the last lap. So yeah, spoiler alert, we don't get that spot, but we do run a decent lap here. But overall, not a good finish for a race that I definitely should be inside the top 5, maybe even the podium spots. It's just my consistency wasn't there, luck wasn't really on my side, and the track was a little bit one-lined in my opinion, a little bit difficult, but that's just a skill issue for me. But yeah, next video I'll have up is a enduro beach race. I love enduro races, and that should be a little bit more fun to watch than me rolling around in 13th. Absolutely fun race that I did, and I just can't wait for more enduro races. So next video I have up will be that. Should be a fun one. So as we finish up the lap here, I see a lapper in front of me. Didn't really have to push it because I knew it wasn't for position, so we go around the finish line jump in 13th, and yeah, that was a race. Not the best. So yeah, not the best race, but not the worst either. Definitely want to get inside that top 5 to podium range, but we'll just have to be better for that next Supercross race. But until the next one, look forward to that beach race. I'll see you later.